Okay, this is the Stihl FS38 line trimmer. I'm going to show you how to replace the line in the head. It's fairly simple. You need to remove this head piece. It's lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. You just twist off that head piece. You can kind of stick your thumb on there to relieve the pressure from the spring, so it's easier to take off that middle piece. And sometimes you have to wiggle it. If this will get kind of bound up in there, you can still pull that whole piece off, but sometimes that gets bound up inside. If you just tap it, then it should usually pop right out. So you can just put these two pieces aside, and what you're going to be working with this center piece to get the line in. I bought this particular model of line trimmer takes the 0.08. I bought this at Home Depot. I don't really recommend it because the case is not meant to separate these two pieces, and it's just supposed to dispense it from this hole, but it gets bound up in there all the time. And the line doesn't seem like very good quality. Like, I go through a lot of it compared to other brands I've had, so don't buy that. So what we're gonna do, I basically got two arm's lengths pieces, and I really got one long piece and then cut it exactly in half. You want them to both be the exact same size. So you're gonna have two equal length pieces, and I do mine about 6 feet. You can put more in there, but I don't like to because it can get bound up and cause problems. So this is the only real tricky part. What you want to do is these little splines here you use to sort of stage the line. These little slots, I'll show you what I mean, but that will help orient you on what side to work with first. You want to work with, you can see that there's two slots here, 1, 2. You want to work with the slot first that's closest to these little, whatever you want to call them, little slots that hold the line. So you can see that there's a hole in there. I'm trying to see if you can see that in the camera. Right there. See how that goes in that little hole? And what you do is you actually take it opposite. So that puts it on a bind so that it won't slip out. And then you wrap it around. Don't wrap it too tight because it gets bound up if you wrap it too tight. But it's fairly simple. You just wrap it around, try to make it evenly. And again, don't do it too loose. And once you get to the end, then you use one of those slots that I showed you. You just snap it in there. It won't stay in there. That's just to hold it so that it doesn't flip out everywhere while you're trying to do the other side. So I'm going to grab this other piece I have prepared and do the same thing on the other one. So I'm going to stick it in that little hole just like I did the other side. Hopefully you can see that. And then take it in the opposite direction. And on that, when you're taking it in the opposite direction, you kind of want to bend it hard, so you can pull hard at that point, but the rest of the time that you're winding it, don't do it too tightly. So just kind of wind it, not too loose, not too tight. Sometimes that happens. That's okay. We'll just start over. But luckily, this other side didn't come out, so we're still good there. It's the only frustrating part about this is sometimes it does slip out like that. So we're going to try it one more time. In fact, I'm going to turn it around. I'm trying to orient it so it's easier for you to see, but it's not necessarily easiest for me to wind. This is the boring part, but we're almost done. And then you want to put this one the opposite side of the other one. Sometimes you might have an unequal, see how these are sort of unequal, these amounts of string? That's okay for now, so don't worry about that for now. You do want these to be kind of long. That actually makes it easier to thread it through the next part. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab this other piece. You can see that these two holes are where the line comes out, one on each side. All you do is you face the line that has the or the side of the centerpiece that has the line poking out into the outside piece. What you want to do is take one at a time and thread it through the hole from the inside. So the hole's right there. I just stick that piece through so it comes out the other side. And then the same on this other side. If you can see that, I just stick that piece through there and pull it through. Now this part you want to be careful with. This is the part where you can make it or break it. It's easier than it might look. Maybe it looks easy, I don't know, but if it looks hard, don't worry, it's not that hard. What you're doing is you're just going to push down, and that will automatically pull those pieces of line out of their slots so that they can float freely inside of there. Sometimes you have to pull on this outside to help pull it out of its slot, but you can look on both sides and make sure that it has indeed come out of its little holder slot. And now you kind of just wiggle it so that it will seat in there properly. There's some spring tension, so you don't want to let go, it'll fly apart. You got to keep holding it together. Now you've got the string coming out both sides like you want. And then you're just going to carefully put that back on that center rod. And sometimes you have to kind of move it around a little bit so it seats on there. And if you can see up here, this piece should come up past the edge of this orange piece. See how that just slipped up there like that? And you just kind of have to wiggle it. Sometimes it doesn't seem to want to go up there, and it's just a matter of wiggling it and moving it a little bit until it does go up. And then while you're holding this ring, the spring tension in, use your other hand to screw in the cap. And just keep screwing until it's tight. Not too tight, you just want it hand tight. Just make it nice and snug, and that's all you got to do. Just make sure you test that the spring will move up and down a little bit, because that's how you dispense it. And that's all there is to it. Pretty simple. Thanks for watching.